Hey everyone, it's Barbara Ann. Welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. Copyright disclaimer. Under the Copyright Act of 1976, I am within my full legal right to share these following clips via video and audio. The following creators allow reshare, redistribution, and download of their content, and as always, I credit in the description box down below. Fair use, public domain, TikTok third-party license, and TikTok Live automatic third-party license for the use of commentary, reaction, teaching, news reporting, research, comment, and criticism. I am legally within my basic human, civil, and constitutional right to share under the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, to share my expressions, views, thoughts, opinions, feelings, and critiques. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution guarantees my freedom of religion, freedom to exercise of, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, free assembly, and the right to petition the government and air my grievances. The First Amendment does not cover lies that amount to defamation, slander, libel, harassment, stalking, cyberstalking, bullying, cyberbullying, threats, or any other verbal crimes.
Can I say one thing? Don't show me though, because I'm holding Aurora.
Gypsy, do not even act like you don't use that baby all day, every opportunity you have to put her in front of a camera for content, for the reality show, in the media, which you said you were not going to do. And now you're like, don't show me because I'm holding the baby. But you know what? Kudos to you for at least apologizing, even though it came a little too late after the fact. This is really what we need to see. We need to see you start taking accountability, real accountability, for the things that you've said and done to multiple people, to harm them, to abuse them, to cause trauma to them. You need to also take accountability for your first-degree premeditated murder, no matter what plea deal you took, to take accountability for Nicholas and to have some kind of remorse. Because without accountability and remorse, you truly cannot be rehabilitated or reformed, changed at all. I am going to say this, however, no matter what you think about Ryan Anderson or what you think about Gypsy Rose Blanchard doesn't always lie. She has said things multiple times that have been truthful. Yes, she is a pathological liar. Yes, she's a manipulator. Yes, she's a convicted murderer. Yeah, you may think she's a horrible human being. Most people, myself included, do. But is every single thing that she says a lie? No, she's said lots of things that have been truthful. Is what she said in an email about her then husband, Ryan Anderson, true? We don't know. There is, however, one really easy way to find out, and that's for Ryan to just get in contact with his ex and have her verify and corroborate that, yes, this happened, or no, it did not. And in fact, anybody can do that. Even Gypsy can reach out to her and ask her. If you really want to get to the heart of, is this true or not, all you have to do is ask the other party. Ryan says it's not. Gypsy says it is. Ken says, of course it is. And yes, we know that the emails bother Gypsy Rose Blanchard because she spoke about it 3 different times now, either in a video, on a live, or this on Ken's live. So another question, Gypsy, you said before on a live panel months back that you would talk to anybody, that you're open, you're honest, you're an open book, anybody can come to you and ask questions. Yet, that is not true. On my sister's birthday, November 16th of 2024, the day of your baby shower, I sent a message asking, is it true that you and Ken are split up? Can you verify or corroborate any of this information? And you blocked. And so you don't allow people to ask questions. You don't allow people the opportunity to speak to you and to ask the questions that they want to know the answers to, or the lies and the inconsistencies. You don't explain why you lied, why you've said so many different variations of every story, including over 5 different variations of the night your mother died. The fact that you try to distance yourself from your crime and try to make all the culpability be put and placed on Nick, when that is your weight and your burden that you have to carry. But despite and regardless of that, what anybody thinks about Ryan or Gypsy, does Gypsy lie all the time? Yes, but not every single thing that she says is untrue. And Gypsy would be hard-pressed to find that, yeah, there are a lot of sources around her that are giving information to people and to content creators. It has always been that way. Gypsy has always been the source for TMZ. And there are content creators who have sources left, right, up, and down. And really stop and think about it when a content creator leaks a video and it was taken by Christy's cell phone or it was taken by Gypsy's cell phone. Who do you think they got it from? Come on, 2 + 2 = 4 here, people. It's not that hard. We have seen for the last year and a half multiple content creators switch sides, flip-flop, wishy-washy, backpedal, and try to roll their way away from what they were doing to begin with. Whether it be being friends and working with the Blanchards or being an anti-Gypsy content creator. But you would be hard-pressed to find that the people closest to Gypsy and her family, along with Gypsy Rose Blanchard herself, are the ones that put this drama out there, perpetuate this drama, and act as sources. But Gypsy doesn't really want to sit down and clarify and tell the truth to anybody about anything at all. And that's why she refuses to allow certain people to talk to her. She won't sit down and have a civil conversation and actually get to the heart of what a lot of quote anti-Gypsy unquote content creators have issues with. Her actions, her words, her choices, and her behaviors. Not just before her crime, during the crime, and her incarceration in the year and a half she's been released. We have not seen her grow and change in any other way than she erratically and impulsively got pregnant by an ex. Cheated on a man, lied to a man, got pregnant on a man who she was legally married to, harmed him for no reason other than she could. The fact that she doesn't have control and couldn't shut him up. But I don't really have any opinions which way, whether or not these allegations against Ryan are true or not. I'm just stating that you got to always think with the bigger picture that, yeah, you might not like Gypsy, but you can't let your own emotions, your own bias get in the way of the fact that Gypsy does say things that are true sometimes, or at least maybe from her own perspective, she thinks are true. So you always have to take that into consideration. But what was alleged was especially heinous. So of course, Ryan was going to deny it. If he was smart, he would get his ex and he would have her verify or corroborate that this never happened, or he would get in contact with his attorney. He would release a statement, and now that he doesn't have a job, he lost a second job due to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. He likely doesn't have the money to sue anybody, even if he is within his legal rights to do so. But that's besides the point. And hopefully one day Gypsy does let people actually sit down and talk with her, because not everybody hates her or despises her. Not everybody is just angry or malicious towards her. There are people that genuinely want to ask a lot of clarifying questions, want to ask a lot of things to really put to end the entirety of the crime, before the crime, after the crime, her behavior now. And why doesn't she just let people ask her questions? Well, because Gypsy Rose Blanchard is hanging on to every little ounce of control and notoriety that she thinks that she has.
But I just want to say that I know these emails have hurt a lot of people. I've said a lot of things in the past that I regret. The fallout from this, it really, it's really sad, because I never intended anybody's feelings to be hurt. And I just want to apologize to anybody that was offended and anybody that felt betrayed by me. I can honestly say I've grown a lot since I've been out of prison. I've had a lot of growth experiences that showed me that, you know, I wasn't always right in the past. I was very immature, learning my way. There's no excuses for the things that I said, the things that I did. All I can do now is be a better person now. So I really apologize for my actions of the past. So.
Well, there you go. There you go. Thanks for the gifts, guys. But also, I mean, like, it's just a little weird. Okay, listen. You know, like the fact that this guy is like almost 40 years old doing the hashtag Team Ryan thing. Okay, dude, like as if this is some kind of like Twilight movie. Listen, let's do it, you know? I'm so down. Let me know. I know.
It's alright. We're gonna get some sleep tonight.
That. There's no NDA. I mean, that's my point, is that you guys, a lot of the haters just believe anything and everything that they read. You know, I got like several DMs about like me having the stroller out on the beach where Aurora wasn't with us. Then we were just like faking bringing her to the beach. Maybe she was being held at the time by somebody else.
Okay.
And we don't photograph Aurora to be put on the internet, so of course not.
Okay. We're gonna rock you to sleep.
All right, here we go.
What's going on?
Nothing. How's she doing? She okay?
Yeah, she just wants to be held standing up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm doing.
I bet he did. I bet he is.
Sorry, is my singing annoying? Sorry.
Mm-hmm. So Ryan loves to talk shit about me on the daily. You know, whenever he goes live, he loves to talk shit about me, about what he would do if he ever saw me in person, and about how he wants to fight me and this and that. Okay, Ryan, if that's really true, then I challenge you to a boxing match. You and me, one-on-one, anywhere you want, any venue you choose. Okay, we can live stream it, we can record it, whatever you want. But I challenge you to a boxing match.
Credit to Velveteen689 on YouTube, because her comment was so perfect. It's like watching two raccoons fight over a trash can. I had to use that caption for a thumbnail, but I definitely credit her down in the description box, and I also pinned her original comment because it was so dead on, spot on, hilarious. Look at Ken, who's not even a beta or a omega, trying to be alpha male. And you know what? He's getting his karma because he talked all that shit about Ryan Anderson being 10 years older than him on season 2 of Life After Lockup on Lifetime, calling him a punk ass bitch and all this other stuff, saying that he wouldn't waste his time arguing with somebody that's like 10 years older than him. What's funny is that Ken literally looks like he's 15 years older than Ryan Anderson. He looks older, he looks stressed, he's bald, and now he's the quiet, shy, gay kid turned trying to play alpha male over a convicted murderer. Yeah, let that all sink in. Let that really sink in. Ken is with Gypsy for the fame and the money, the same reason why Ryan was attracted to her. And even if Ken and Ryan both thought that Gypsy was isolated and severely abused for 24 years of her life, the first 24 years, why would they seek out the worst abuse victim and not only start a sexual and romantic relationship with her, marry her and have a baby with her? Because it's not her past or her crime. It's the fact that she has notoriety, fame, and a following, a TV show, book deals, interviews. Hence why Ken came right back into the picture immediately when he could, and immediately got on camera saying, I've never been on camera before. Well, duh, because you never fucked a murderer before. And a famous one at that. And it's so funny how Ken actually tries to play it like he thinks she's really a celebrity. But you know, behind the scenes, Ken snaps at Gypsy all the time because he's unhappy. He's also controlling and wants things a certain way, and he and Gypsy just clash on a lot. But neither of them stopped and thought about that on Jazz Fest weekend 2024. What's funny is in the messages with Rachell Garlick, who was incarcerated with Gypsy and was her friend, was running her socials and support pages because she got out before Gypsy. Her messages between her and Ken said this. Ken says, haven't talked to her since her release. He doesn't say that I haven't talked to her at all since she's been released, that he hasn't spoken to her since the day she was released, December 28th of 2023. She was married to Ryan and going home to Ryan. So I don't know if he worded that wrong, but what he's saying there is that he did speak to Gypsy when she was released and that he hadn't talked to her since her release. Meaning that Gypsy and Ken had been in contact the whole time and that they were talking way prior to February of 2024, which Gypsy reveals in season 1 of Life After Lockup. After she leaves Ryan, Ryan finds out that her and Ken were in contact. Well, Ryan, you are in for a rude awakening because he says so right here that he hasn't talked to her since her release. Again, his wording may be off here, but he doesn't say that he hasn't talked to her at all since she's been released, that he hasn't talked to her since her release. Meaning that when she was released, they had spoke in some kind of context. But there's also this message. Rachel, I'll tell you this. I've known Gypsy for 7 years. I can look at her and tell when she's speaking from the heart versus when not. I don't think she ever means to slander me. Regardless, whatever she says about me, she has the right to. It doesn't change how I feel about her. I'll always stand by her, defend her, want what's best for her. I will never be swayed. I have nothing but love. I'll never switch sides. She deserves to be free, and she deserves to be happy and at peace. And you think that you're the one to come into her life and that you're going to give her that? The worst abuse victim ever, Ken? What makes you qualified for that? Are you a psychiatrist, a therapist, a trauma expert? He continues, I understand y'all had a falling out, but please don't get me involved with these toxic people / drama channels. They've done nothing but cause her hardships, and she doesn't deserve any further trauma. What about the trauma she causes everybody else, including content creators? You'll never see me say a bad word about her no matter what happens. She's finding her place back in the regular world. Give her time. Keep her in your heart. The funny thing is that on January 22nd of 2024, everybody, including anti-Gypsy content creators, were not even talking about Gypsy yet, but they were all rooting and supporting her. I was one of the only 2 people that I could find from October 12th of 2023, 2.5 months before she was released, that had been speaking about the inconsistencies, the lies, and how they were trying to make her a celebrity, how she was granted parole, and that she would be getting out later in 2023. This is also the same exact time that Gypsy went from 3 million followers to 5 million followers, over 7 million followers, eventually to 10.3 million, where she's down to 9.5. But over 45% of her TikTok following specifically is inactive, not real accounts, meaning not a real person is active on them. They are likely owned by a PR company or they are bot accounts. And if you don't remember, in the spring of 2024, somebody actually ran that through an entire computer program and proved that. That's why she only has not even 34,000 on YouTube. She doesn't even have 900,000 on Instagram, but you're going to tell me 9.5 million follow her on TikTok? That's because the discrepancy there is the fact that a lot of those are not real accounts. They're not real people. They are made and created to go and follow certain public figures, politicians, celebrities, to inflate their following, to make it look like they are more famous than what they are. And unfortunately, Gypsy Rose Blanchard is not famous. She is infamous for murder. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
How about that? Let's do it. You know, you can get all your anger out on me, all the things you hate about me. Let's do it. But I bet you won't accept it. And I really hope that you do, because that would be fucking pretty entertaining. I think that most people would love to see that. You and me, one-on-one in a boxing match? Shit, that'd be content, dude. Let's do it. I'm fucking down. You name the place, you name the time, you name the venue. You want it to be in Lake Charles? Let's do it. I'll put up the money for it. We can live stream it, we can put it out. Let's do it. You know, because you like to look and sound all tough, you know, on your lives and on your videos and whatever. Dude, put your money where your mouth is. Let's go ahead and do a one-on-one boxing match. What do you say?
Oh my goodness, you're just overtired, aren't you? You're just overtired.
I'd love to do it. Love to do it. And yeah, your emails got exposed, dude. You're a fucking weirdo. Like, I mean, of course you have to deny your allegations. I mean, like, what choice do you have? But the reality is, what was said definitely happened. And you accepted what happened with a 5-year-old child in the room with you. And if I'm lying, then, you know, sue me. You know, we'll subpoena the phone calls where you defended yourself, talking about how, you know, the only reason why it was okay was, well, you know what, we'll get to that later. But you definitely did exactly what was said in those emails, 100%. So let's go ahead and, you know, let's get there, man. You're 100% a fucking liar. I mean, that's all that you have. I mean, of course you have to lie, and you have to deny it, because what choice do you have? I 100% believe it.
The bridge is falling down. I know. She's overtired. That's what's going on. She just is fighting her sleep. You fighting your sleepies. You fighting your sleepies. It's okay.
Well, here's the thing: is that Gypsy didn't release the emails. You know, somebody else got the emails released. It's one thing to attack Gypsy and say, you know, she's trying to defame him by putting out these emails, but she didn't put out the emails. Somebody else got the emails. So that argument kind of fumbles right there.
You like your ball?
And they're not FOIA. Like, you know what you're talking about. It's not FOIA emails.
You just want to look what Daddy's doing. Oh, you're so focused on Daddy right now.
Baby Louvre.
We're going to play with your ball. A little bit.
You know, that's the funniest part is we're out here living our life, just being parents and just living a regular life, but you know.
I swear, when she goes to bed, she's gonna fall right to sleep because she's so tired. I know.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
I bet he is. I bet he'll find any reason to back out of this. All right, I'll end on that. Ryan, if you want it, you got it, buddy. One-on-one boxing match. Let's go. You pick the time, the place, the location. We'll do it, bud.
It's okay, honey. We're gonna have a good night, sleepies. Yes, we're gonna have a good night, sleepies. Boop, 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 boop. You don't want your bottle?
All right. Anything else? Anything else? Also, it's. I don't want to say it.
What?
I won't go there. Now we'll have gloves. No headgear. Nothing else. We'll have gloves. We'll do it traditional. However many rounds you want. You know, listen, that'd be fucking content right there.
Can I say one thing? Don't show me though, because I'm holding Aurora. But I just want to say that I know these emails have hurt a lot of people. I've said a lot of things in the past that I regret. The fallout from this. It really, it's really sad because I never intended anybody's feelings to be hurt. And I just want to apologize to anybody that was offended and anybody that felt betrayed by me. I can honestly say I've grown a lot since I've been out of prison. I've had a lot of growth experiences that showed me that, you know, I wasn't always right in the past. I was very immature, learning my way. There's no excuses for the things that I said, the things that I did. All I can do now is be a better person now.
Which we are not seeing any evidence or proof of whatsoever. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, if you ever want to sit down, please let me know because I would love to ask you a lot of questions. And no, I won't be a bitch to you. I'm very civil and very respectful. And as much as I can't stand her actions, words, choices, and behaviors, inside my own heart, mind, and soul, I know I'm not malicious. I know I'm not hateful. But the story and the narrative that society, social media, the world has been sold is not true. We know that. So can Gypsy ever truly change? Move on. Be rehabilitated, truly change in a positive and proactive way. Is there hope for heinous felony criminals? Is there hope for our legal system, our incarceration system? Is there hope to prevent crime for the anti-crime community? I don't know, but if I had a good 3 to 4 hours, I would love to sit down with Gypsy and I would love to ask her a lot of questions. No berating, no disrespect. I would like her to actually clarify a lot of the lies that she has said, a lot of the things she has done, not just before the crime, during the crime, but now. Because the fact is, she'll never move on. She's always going to be tied to her mother because of what she did to her. That is permanent. That is tangible. That is real. That is the truth. That is a fact. She was and is nothing and nobody without her committing the crime against her mother. Otherwise, she's just a nobody like everybody else. Just like you, just like me, just like every other one of the 8 billion people on planet Earth. The only difference now is she was irresponsible and she got pregnant and she had a baby. Well, welcome to every mother on planet Earth. Gypsy, being a mother, is not a special status or accolade. Being a mother is literally a title that every woman that gave birth and had a child can claim, including Dee Dee Blanchard and Stephanie Goldammer, who, by the way, had another child besides Nick. But just like Gypsy pretended to be a paraplegic in a wheelchair, she also tried to hide behind a pregnancy and motherhood to revive and revamp her broken reputation. And guess what it did? It backfired on her, especially when people seen that 2 different times she did not buckle that baby correctly in a speeding vehicle, doing 77 in a 70 zone and 84 in a 65 zone on a Texas highway. And then she posted it all for content. So yeah, they can say Dee Dee was a lot of awful things, and she probably was. But then again, so is Gypsy. She's a convicted murderer who has put her child in endangerment on YouTube for content. It's not her words, because she tries to talk a really good game. It's her behavior.
So I really apologize for my actions of the past. So.
Yeah, Bree had somebody come up that she didn't know. She gave them a chance, and they blurted out words on purpose to try to get her
taken down.
So it's just a safety thing.
Wait, she's still on TikTok? I know that she said before she lost 5 different accounts, but you have to violate to lose accounts. So she had says Bree backup, says Bree backup, Bree unfiltered 2, Bree unfiltered 3, Bree with the facts backup, free Bree, and or waiting to be served. So that right there is either 9 or 10 if 2 of those are the same account. You would think that after having that many accounts taken permanently, that you would just get the hint or give up. I'm just going to say it. It screams adaptive Kate. It is giving Kate Marie psychological addiction to TikTok. Can't let it go. Can't get off of it. Can't stay away from it. Messy drama, chaos, destruction, shit talking, gossiping, chickens clucking, cluck, 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 cluck. I just don't understand it. How people are so addicted to TikTok lives. Social media and video gaming addictions are very, very real. There are lots of different class action lawsuits going on. There are rehabs specifically designed for such. And it's not just defending Gypsy, which of course I would expect her to do. That's her friend. But again, at what cost? At the cost, the price, the expense of everybody else and every other good, amazing friend that you could have and make, despite and regardless of the one. That's not community. That's a false sense of security blanket, a false sense of belonging, a false sense of being needed behind an app.
Well, the one time I did let somebody up, I found myself doing a battle that I didn't want to do. And I kept telling the guy, you can win. I don't want to do a battle. I don't want to do a battle. Because, you know, I cannot take money.
Kimmy, we're not laughing about unaliving. We're laughing about having to use certain words, and you get so used to using them that you use them in real life. And unaliving is one of the words that I find myself using when I'm not on TikTok. Nobody's laughing at unaliving.
Yeah, don't twist it, peeps. So, Gypsy, do y'all have, without saying too much about where or when, do you have your next trip planned?
No, nothing on the horizon. I think for the next couple months, it's going to be just kind of downtime, just home time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything planned or up my sleeve or anything like that. It's just like this was, we've been planning our trip to Miami for months and months and months. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want to go somewhere with the family that we can have a good time, we can enjoy ourselves. And like, I didn't want anyone to watch Aurora. So I'm like, we're going to bring her with us and we're going to see how life is on vacation with a baby. Like, this is our first, real vacation where we're flying out.
Yeah, Gypsy, that's what families do.
So we was able to make it work. Like, Dad and Christy went out one night where they went to this music venue and they had a great time. And we would go all together to the beach. And then there was, one night, which was last night, that Dad and Christy had watched Aurora at the hotel while me and Ken went to Ocean Drive and went eat a couple places, had a few drinks, listened to some music, and came back.
Well, if Gypsy's emails are so private, doesn't that mean Nick's emails are private? Have you read Nick's?
You're nuts. Like Dreamer said, Fancy, I don't know if you'll hear this, but I think you're nuts. Oh my god. Hi. Y'all, hi. Wait, that's what she's about to sing, y'all. We know we don't like that. And I can't.
I bet he won't.
Oh, so it was I.
We'll see. I mean, he's responded quite quickly today. Obviously, he's reading them. And he is very adamant about returning my email.
Mine.
We'll see if we get
mine.
Updating you as I hear back from the AG's office, and
she's making you stressy.
In trying to bring justice to this and get an answer as to why Mike Stanfield's license was not reported, why there was no prosecution of this, and why Mr. Patterson. Not only did he not prosecute, but he also participated in the same documentaries, giving the same type of statements of supporting Miss Gypsy Rose Blanchard's false allegations of medical child abuse.
You know what's crazy? That wasn't even Gypsy's allegations. That was what they found out. Gypsy did not understand the extent of what was even happening to her. She wasn't the one. Remember, everybody complains about that. She never said she was abused. She didn't even realize what she was going through. She knew that it wasn't normal. She knew that, she felt like she wasn't normal like everybody else.
I call bullshit. Gypsy knew what abuse was. She knew what BDSM was. She knew what sex was. She knew how to make inappropriate, sexually explicit material and send it on multiple different devices through multiple different means: text, Facebook Messenger, a dating website, through email and other means of electronic communications. She was literally reading Harry Potter books, 50 Shades of Grey, Doctor Who. She watched sexually explicit movies. She certainly knew what abuse was, what it looks like, what it feels like, because she described it when she started making up the false allegations of abuse, especially when she started stealing from Mommy Dearest with the whole wire coat hanger thing. Yet she also talks about the Department of Family and Children's Services coming to her house at that same exact week, mind you, that she says her mother chained her up for 2 weeks, hit her with a wire hanger and a closed fist, and then tells the CPS worker that, no, I don't have any bruises on me because my mom never hit me. Trust me, real abuse survivors and victims know what abuse is. When you are very little, you know it's not normal. You know it's not normal to be physically hurt. And when you are a preteen and teenager, yes, you know what abuse is. If you are being abused, you know it. You're not 24 doing inappropriate, sexually explicit material for 4.5 years with multiple men. The truth and the reality is that Gypsy planned this for 4.5 years. She tried to take her mom's life in the spring of 2011 and then shot her 10 times on June 14th of 2011. She could have stood up at any time. She could have got up and walked out at any time. She had an entire binder proving her age and all of her medical issues, everything. She knew how to go to Neighbors. She knew how to call taxis. She knew how to get a Greyhound bus ticket. She knew how to lie, manipulate, steal pain medicine, steal money. She knew how to steal baby clothes from Walmart. She knew how to steal a knife from Walmart. She knew how to steal from Hobby Lobby and Michael's. This just further proves that Gypsy was not abused in the way she claims.
She felt like, why is this happening? But she didn't understand it in the sense of medical abuse, especially not medical abuse. She knew her mom was controlling, blah, blah, whatever. So the allegations of medical abuse, it wasn't until Mike was going through everything and he came across even the doctor himself, like the doctor himself saying that there's a strong possibility of Munchausen by proxy. In 2007, in her medical records, it literally says that. Right, false allegations, yeah. An expert confirmed her. I know, you know what she does? Well, she don't like her either, so that's great. But all you know is that none of this would have started if Fancy didn't get on here and do this and lie.
But Fancy didn't lie. She released the medical records and everybody read them for themselves. Gypsy Rose had severe acid reflux, and acid reflux is a reason to have a feeding tube. It also could explain her severe teeth issues, combined with many other things. But I did my first video on TikTok on October 12th of 2023, 2.5 months before she was released, because I saw a trailer that was on YouTube for Lifetime for the prison confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. In just under 3 months is my 2-year anniversary of talking about the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case, the crime, her behavior, her release, her parole, her actions, words, choices, and behaviors since. And I fought against a tide of supporters for not only 2023, but the first half of 2024. And yes, my original video is dated. She lied about being SA'd by Nicholas Godejohn. That caught my attention. And almost 2 years later, it still does not sit well with me how easily she can falsely accuse somebody of something so heinous and serious. It truly gave me Amber Heard, Meghan Markle type vibes. And those actions, words, choices, and behaviors are what intrigued me. It's not specific to Gypsy Rose Blanchard, but she just happens to be the person who committed this crime, made money off of this crime, and is still trying to be a celebrity off of this crime. Like Fancy or hate Fancy, that doesn't matter. She isn't credited for me, myself, but she is credited for opening many people's eyes and putting out the medical records. Just putting all thoughts, feelings, and opinions aside. She stopped working with the Blanchards when she started seeing the truth from what she says, the same way Katie Joy Paulson allegedly did. And everybody else that's attracted to Gypsy Rose Blanchard or her family are just clout chasers. They're just fucking their way to the toppers. You don't see them befriending or getting in sexual or romantic relationships with the Menendez brothers or trying to befriend Casey Anthony, Susan Smith, Andrea Yates, Diane Downs, Sarah Grace Patrick, the 14-year-old girl here in East Point, Michigan, Sherry Papini, any of the other ones. Nope, just Gypsy. Why? Because Gypsy is gullible and she is naive. But trust me, she's also very cunning and manipulative. But you know what they say, you lay down with the dogs, don't get upset when you get fleas.
And spread misinformation. Her name is Fancy? Wait, I think, don't you know us? She's saying you know us. You know all of us. I'm confused. Double standards. Crystal. Does she not know who Fancy is? I've never seen her before, but... Right, and they believe it because she has all those damn binders. That she don't ever show the inside of them, really.
You, sir. And you can either do it in a response, or We can do it through the...
I'm surprised if you're a part of this community at all, or if you're in this community at all, that you wouldn't know who Fancy is. Because she's crazy. You hate me? Oh. Oops.
Hey
Shit.
guys, it's Fancy, and you're watching the Good Wives Network, and you are on part 4. Hey guys, it's Fancy, and you're watching the Guys, and facilitated a known false, quoted and participated in those documentaries, and you quoted and facilitated a known false narrative.
Right.
We'll see how everyone feels about it now. Have a good one from the Good Wives, serving up true crime, one dish at a time.
Yeah, I understand that, SMB. Trust me, Christy regrets it every single day. Christy likes to see the best in people.
Does she see the best in the cookie lady? Does she see the best in all the women that Rod likes to have sex with behind her back? Does she see the best in everybody who just genuinely is telling the truth, the facts, saying their thoughts, feelings, opinions, critiques? Does she also see the best in advocates or anti-gypsy content creators? She must see the best in them since she likes to cozy up to them so often. The same way that Gypsy likes to cozy up and talk to women that her dad is having an affair with, I wouldn't put it past Christy Blanchard to be cozying up to anti-gypsy content creators. I mean, honestly, everybody, look at the fact that she recorded that entire thing with the police at Ryan Anderson's apartment trying to get those pictures, and then strategically released it exactly a year later, held on to that on her private device, her cell phone, for a year until Gypsy had to combat all of that damage control and negative attention she was receiving for putting out that he was on methadone for MAT. Oh, Ryan had to be the bad guy. So Christy just strategically releases that, leaks it, to say, see, look, don't look at what Gypsy just did over here on TikTok, weaponizing TikTok stories for her own personal Gypsy's revenge. Christy leaks that and then is saying, here, look over here, Ryan's a liar. He did see Gypsy once after she left him. He was refusing to give her her pictures, and we had to bring the cops to the door. And yes, Ryan did see her, so Ryan's a liar. Ryan's the bad guy. He's on methadone. He's on MAT. Look at what he said to Rod in a private text message. Yeah, that Christy, she's the one that sees the best in people. Yeah, okay. She's as trustworthy an egg-thieving coon in the chicken coop in the middle of the night.
It's a strength and a flaw at the same time. I mean, it's a strength and a weakness at the same time. I'll tell you that. I could be the same way. I mean, not as, I think that Christy, I think, must just see the really best of people. But also, Fancy was 100%. She didn't, you see, the only Fancy she knew was the one who supported Gypsy. And think about this. Look how hard Fancy goes against Gypsy. Imagine her on the opposite end. It's like a me, in a way, which I do not want to compare myself to Fancy, but I'm just saying, like, just like I go so hard for Gypsy, and she goes so hard against it, imagine, like, that would be like, but except the difference between me and Fancy, which is why I'm not really comparing, is that if they no longer, like, especially if I promised them something or if I was supposed to do something and I didn't do it, but say if they were to stop talking to me, I would never be doing what Fancy's doing. That's the difference between us. We're both very passionate, but for different reasons. Mine is for the right reason, hers is not. So that can be very confusing, because if you look at old videos of Fancy, she didn't act like this. So, I mean, think about it. Christy they turned down Hulu instead to go with Fancy. And you think, oh my God, that's crazy. Well, it just goes to show you that Christy wanted someone, you know, to do this that cared about Gypsy. And Fancy cared about Gypsy. Well, seemed that way anyway. Whereas the other ones, it was just that's all it was just a money grab to them, which sadly they should have just stuck with that, and maybe the act would have been made more correctly, more accurate, and then Fancy would be just nobody that we know. Would y'all really want that to happen? Would we really want to not know Fancy? I mean,
she wants to have a baby with Ken, to trap Ken. And you know what? Now she's trapped by that choice. She's trapped by that same exact choice and circumstance. That is fate. That is destiny. That is God's karma. So it pans to Ken and his mom talking, and he wants to make an announcement about the baby. And Gypsy's like, I don't care. I don't know why you care. It reminds me of something that she once did to Ryan Anderson. When Ryan was like, well, it's revenue. You're making money doing that. That's your job. That's what you've been telling your parole officer this whole time, that you want to be a public figure. You want to be a social media influencer and a content creator. And then she turns around and gets mad at him because he says, well, that's revenue. I mean, that's literal money that you have made off of live gifts or your videos. You need to pull that out beforehand. And she says,
does he know that?
I don't care.
I know, but did you tell him that?
I don't care.
I get it.
She just did the same exact manipulation, gaslighting, abuse tactic on Ken because he wants to announce his daughter's arrival into the world, and he wants to get ahead of it before anybody else can find out or do the announcement for him. And I agree with that. At some point, you have to be accountable for what you do. No, Ryan, Gypsy Rose Blanchard has to be accountable for what she does to harm, abuse, create toxic spaces for other people. And look at what she has done to social media in the past year and a half. She has turned very loyal, devout friends and family members into monsters, creating people who stalk, harass, cyberbully, dox other human beings by proxy for her. She has turned TikTok and Instagram into a cesspool of toxicity. She has turned D-Rate TV into a cesspool of toxic activity.
This kind of thing is what's going to keep happening over and over and over again unless you smack those two down. If it is not true, then get your attorney. If it is not true, you're going to have to, this isn't going to be the last time. For whatever reason, that side, the Blanchards, especially Gypsy and Ken and others in that little cabal, are out to destroy Ryan Anderson. You can say he deserves it. You can pity him. I don't care how you feel about it. I'm just reporting the facts.
There's going to be things in the future that come out where I'm just kind of like, I've gotten frustrated with him and I've let that anger out.
Yeah, see? So my thing is like, okay, let's just say there's not, but let's just say there was tea in these messages, okay?
Can I say one thing? Don't show me though, because I'm holding Aurora. But I just want to say that I know these emails have hurt a lot of people. I've said a lot of things in the past that I regret. The fallout from this, it really, it's really sad because I never intended anybody's feelings to be hurt. And I just want to apologize to anybody that was offended and anybody that felt betrayed by me. I can honestly say I've grown a lot since I've been out of prison. I've had a lot of growth experiences that showed me that, you know, I wasn't always right in the past. I was very immature.
You might see little pieces that are repeated a little bit because I didn't catch the whole thing in its entirety. I was working on something else at the time. She wants you to believe that she was young and immature, but she was almost 24 years old when she committed her crime and was arrested. She was almost 32 and a half years old when she was released on December 28th of 2023. And a lot of those emails were from 2020, 2021, 2022, and a majority 2023. She is her own source with TMZ and has been during her entire incarceration and after. She literally is 32 years old in October of 2023 emailing TMZ. So she can sit there and try to paint it like she was dumb, young, and immature, but she was a fully fledged woman when she committed her crime. And she came out middle-aged. Trying to rewrite history, that's sociopathy and manipulation, narcissism 101. Rewriting history, truth, fact, is their biggest tool in their toolbox. Trying to make you perceive what they want you to perceive. Not the truth, not the facts, not reality.
Learning my way. There's no excuses for the things that I said, the things that I did. All I can do now is be a better person now. So I really apologize for my actions of the past. So.
Well, there you go. There you go. Thanks for the gifts, guys. But also, I mean, like, it's just a little weird. Okay, listen. You know, like the fact that this guy is like almost 40 years old doing the hashtag Team Ryan thing. Okay, dude, like as if this is some kind of like Twilight movie. Listen, let's do it, you know? I'm so down. Let me know. I know.
It's alright. We're gonna get some sleep tonight.
Why would you not get right to the meat of the message? Like, why would you not skip the part that's not tea? You can even leave the first one in there, even though that was nothing special. It's like, oh, I'm not friends with Gypsy anymore. Oh my god, why? Oh no, why? Okay, leave that in there if you want, whatever. But like, why wouldn't you get to like when you start talking about the tea instead of?
Hey y'all. So I know I haven't been on TikTok for a few days. I deleted the TikTok app off my phone for a few days, had to re-download it back to post this message, but the truth is I have a lot of support in the followers that I have, and I just wanted you guys to know that I love you guys. Just because I'm taking a little bit of like private time for myself and my family, that doesn't mean that I don't care about y'all and care about the support and the love that y'all have given me, and I greatly appreciate it. Because I haven't been on the app for a few days, I'm kind of out of the loop about a lot of the drama that's going on in the Gypverse. But what I will say is that whatever drama is going on, I'm not affected by it, so don't worry about me. I am doing good, spending time with my family, spending time with Aurora, playing with Aurora, just being a mom. I have so much happiness in my life to be grateful for that I just felt like scrolling was so much of a waste of my time. And I just need to step away from it for a little bit. And I think that social media is fine in moderation, but sometimes you can get sucked in. And so I did what I felt like I had to do and pull myself out of it. So with that being said, I'm doing good, I'm fine, I'm enjoying my life, I'm enjoying my family, I'm just living real life, and that's where my head needs to be at. So I'm doing what's right for me. And just know that I do still care and love y'all. Thank you so much for all the support that y'all have given me. I have not forgotten about y'all. I just needed to take some time away for myself. I'm not tripping over the emails. I was in my 20s. I mean, how would everybody else feel if their personal diary was released to the public? Like, I'm sure we've all done embarrassing things that we regret. But like I said, I was in my 20s. I'm not the same like I was back then. I did some stupid stuff, yes. Do I do stupid stuff now? Yes. But it's all about growth. It's about learning. It's about maturing. And maturing takes time. And that's what I'm doing for myself. I'm growing. And I'm doing what's right for me. So, thank you for all of y'all's support. I love you guys.
Instead of you making $500 already, and this is my thing, I know people are going to be like, oh, you're taking money from an autistic kid. Donate. Why? What do you mean? If you want to donate money to him, donate to it. Donate. Oh, wait, you only want to donate to him if you're going to get tea about Gypsy? So, let's not. Because people that would say that, because I know that people are going to, if I would have, well, now they're not, because I'm not posting those messages, my gray hair. They would have been like, if I would have posted those messages, if Ken still had them, they would have been like, you're taking money from an autistic kid, knowing damn well that they don't give a fuck about that fucking kid. They care about their messages that ain't got no tea in it. You know, because if you did, why don't you just donate to her then for nothing? Like, why do you have to have something to give to her? Why don't you just give it to her kid? If it's for her kid, then give it to her. Why do you need Gypsy's messages? I mean, her and Ken's messages. But anyway, so she's got like 56 left or something like that. And y'all, I'm telling you, if she sells all of these, she's going to make $1,850 and you will not receive any tea. I know for a fact. I know for a fact there's no tea in there. Like, y'all, one message that somebody paid $25 for her to show had her before and after, pictures from surgery. What? That's it. I thought it was weird. Who else thought it was weird that she was showing Ken that? Like, maybe she was just proud of herself. I don't know, but I thought, okay, isn't it weird for one, you're texting your ex best friend from like, I think, 2 weeks before that? Like, they were just friends. They were just friends, like, not, like, maybe a month before that. Well, I'm sorry. A month before those messages, okay? So, not only that, but you're texting her ex-boyfriend, okay? Her ex-boyfriend. That's weird. Her ex-fiance, okay? And then, one of the first things you say, you're like, yeah, me and Chip's not friends anymore. Oh, no, I'm sorry to hear that. She wanted to know how he was doing. And then she's like, I lost 100 pounds.
Yeah, she did. And good for her. She looks fucking fantastic. And she had a tummy tuck. You know, at least for her, she took the initiative to actually make change instead of spending a year doing nothing but being on TikTok live. Don't get jealous and envious over some other woman's tummy tuck and weight loss, and then turn around and tell other people not to say anything about your body. And that begs the question that if Gypsy Rose Blanchard truly was a friend, wouldn't she be going to the gym with you when she spent the last 365 days of being your friend, trying to encourage you, enable you to make better choices, trying to help you get to your goal weight? Hey, you know, even when she's pregnant, she could be like, hey, let's go to the park. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a hike. Let's get a gym membership together. Did Gypsy do any of those things for her friend? Hell no, because she doesn't care. She only cares what her friend can do for her. That right there is a sociopath. That is a psychopath. That is a narcissist. They don't add value to your life. And if you think that a digital following, is adding value to your life, then not only are your priorities backwards, but then you deserve to be stuck where you are. Rachell Garlick was friends with Gypsy, and she was very, very loyal to her. From the messages, that's her choice, what she does with them. She's within every legal right to do whatever she wants. And if she was taking collective donations to release them all, then so be it. She explained all that, and it is what it is. Last year, Bree also went on in multiple different videos talking about an anti-Gypsy content creator and how she had a gastric bypass type of surgery, saying that she could afford it and other people can't, giving off complete jealousy vibes. And Bree has spent a little over a year now defending her friend Gypsy, which of course I would say that's normal. Friends usually defend their friends. She's entitled to her platforms. She's entitled to her thoughts, feelings, opinions, all of it. But Rachel getting out, losing 100 pounds and having a tummy tuck, that's a beautiful and amazing thing. And congratulations to her for doing it. Not everybody has the courage and the balls to make a positive and proactive change, no matter how hard it is. Seeing a doctor, seeing a surgeon, having a surgery, eating less, eating better, exercising more, that is ultimately up to each and every single Homo sapien on planet Earth. And if anybody has weight issues, their friends, their family, their loved ones should be the ones that are there encouraging and enabling them to make those positive, proactive changes. Not encouraging and enabling you to stay stuck in the same rut, causing more trauma, chaos, destruction, causing even more physical, emotional, and mental distress on their friends and loved ones. And I know a lot of people get on me about this, but I actually think Bree's kind of a cool person. She has a lot of really good points. I think she's really funny sometimes, and I know people come at me for that, but it's just the truth. A lot of people dislike her just based on the fact that she defends Gypsy Rose to no end, blindly, and that's okay. But if I had a friend that truly was struggling in this way, I would be like, hey, girl, like, come on, don't be on the internet defending me. Let's go do something tangible in real life, especially if you've been friends for over 365 days. That's a lot of days. Let's hang out. Let's start a routine together. Let's go for a walk or a hike for a couple miles a couple times a week. Let's kickstart a better routine. Let's break out of both of our molds and do something different, do something revolutionary. But that's just me. That's just my personal opinion. And that's how I would perceive things if I was friends with somebody that was struggling with their weight and body image. I would want to encourage and enable them to make better choices. And you do that by leading by example, by positively and actively participating in those changes. And if they choose not to, well, then that's just that. At least you tried. But that's a truly loving friendship. Not always shit talking everybody on the internet. For the whole last year, she could have shit talked Rachell Garlick, but she chooses to right when she releases those messages. And so, whatever. She lost the weight, got her a tummy tuck, and now she's getting a damn bag. Go, Rachell.
Like, okay, congratulations. And he's even like, that's great. How's Nimue or whatever? Like, next subject, like, why are you telling me this? Like, I don't care that you, I mean, that's great. Congratulations. But then she starts sending him selfies. Like, that's weird. Not of her, like, just of her face at first. I mean, you can see her body a little bit, but then they're not even talking about it. Maybe she was just proud of herself. I just feel like that's a weird person to send it to. But then she sent them literally, like, her stomach when it still was hanging, and then her stomach once it was once it was fixed, like, once it was tucked in, whatever. Like, why are you sending that to Ken? That's weird. And then, so to me, y'all, this was more tea on her than Ken or Gypsy.
Can I say one thing? Don't show me though, because I'm holding Aurora. But I just want to say that I know these emails have hurt a lot of people. I've said a lot of things in the past that I regret. The fallout from this, it really, it's really sad because I never intended anybody's feelings to be hurt. And I just want to apologize to anybody that was offended and anybody that felt betrayed by me. I can honestly say I've grown a lot since I've been out of prison. I've had a lot of growth experiences that showed me that, you know, I wasn't always right in the past. I was very immature, learning my way. There's no excuses for the things that I said, the things that I did. All I can do now is be a better person now. So I really apologize for my actions of the past. So.
Well, there you go. There you go. Thanks for the gifts, guys.
Okay, because then no. And then she goes on to say, like, what was one of the messages? Oh, yeah. She was like, you know, the reason that I'm not friends with Gypsy is because blah, blah, blah. Stuff that she's already told everybody before. Stuff that she changes the story every 5 weeks. But, and then the next tea is Ryan, against Ryan, talking shit about Ryan, basically, which is what she did all the time. And during that live, I watched it after, because I didn't watch it when it was going on. She said that Gypsy, because it was like, what did Gypsy feel about Ryan? And she said that she told her, like, you know...
I know I'm doing my own fair use commentary here, but I just have to stop. Bree does not talk like what she used to talk like in her videos. I don't know who is influencing her, but it's not in a positive way. To be in your mid-30s is to be middle-aged, okay? Only 27% of the human population live to see their 70th birthday. I know that solely contributed to Western and modern medicine. If you've ever read obituaries or go to a cemetery, go read the actual years of the time the person was born to the time they pass. A lot of people pass before 70. So around 30 to 35 is technically middle-aged for a Homo sapien anyway. Yes, a lot of people live to be in their 70s, 80s, 90s, but only on average 27 out of every 100 people do. To be middle-aged in your 30s, saying she said and they said and he said and then she was like and then they were like and then like all the vocal disfluencies. Vocal disfluencies are not filler words. Filler words have intent and have meaning to elongate a paragraph or a sentence. Vocal disfluencies are literally vocal disfluencies. And, and, yeah, and, you guys, you know, and, right? Yeah, but if any human being was to come up to me and to talk to me like that, I would first say, stop. I don't care what she said. I don't care who said. I don't care what he said. I don't care what they said. I don't care what we said. I don't care what you said. I don't care what I said. I don't care what anybody said. She said, he said, they said, everybody said, we said, I said, then they said, then she said, then she was like, and then I was like, and then he was like, oh, just stop. It makes my brain go fuzzy. I can quite literally feel the brain fog set in when my ears have to hear that. And he said she told her that he was like, she was like, and you know, and then she was like, yeah, I told her that, like, I was like, you know, and then Kim was all like, oh my God, she said this about Gypsy. And then she said, was like, oh my God, she was like that.
Talk to him. I really want him to lose weight, blah, blah. Actually, Rachel, and the reason I know everyone's going to be like, Gypsy told you this. No, I can tell you why it's true in a second, okay? So Rachel is the one that was like, Gypsy had talked to her and was like, go see this guy. I'm talking to this guy. Tell me what you think. It was Ryan. And she come back. She's like, oh my God. You can
pay pigs. That's exactly what they do in prison. And if you didn't see my prior video with a former female inmate talking about how that works, well, Bree just described exactly what she did. Scanning men for potential, for their job, for their money, and then having other inmates speak to them as well, scanning them. Because later on, when one is released, they usually sell their pay pig to another inmate. That's how it works. And they also do that in male prisons as well.
get so much, Gypsy, you can get anybody and you're going to take him, he's fat and blah, blah. Some amount of fat he is. And she's like, he's had weight loss surgery, you know, he's working on it, blah, blah. And that's not all that matters. He's a really nice guy. And just remember, Gypsy did marry the guy. But the reason I know that is true is because, for one, she made a joke. She was like, I looked good when I came out of prison, meaning like that Gypsy was fat. But not only that, she posted him and said he looked like Peter Griffin. And Gypsy actually reached out to her and was like she posted a picture of Peter Griffin and said it was Ryan. This was when they were still together. And Gypsy messaged her and was like, look, I know that you're mad at me or you don't like me, whatever, but can you please not speak like that about people that I love? And she's like, I'm going to put whatever I want on my page. And she never took it down. So the only person that making fat type of remarks is you, girl, is you. So let's stop lying. Y'all. And then, so yeah, she talked about how, she was like, yeah, I doubt that, because she was like, don't mention me if you talk to her. She's probably, I don't want her to be any more stressed. And that's when she was like, and he was like, okay, yeah, I probably won't talk to her anytime soon. And she's like, yeah, probably not. He's like up her butt, talking about Ryan, her husband at the time. And then she brought up the fact like, oh, and this is another reason why she's mad at me, because I told her the truth about how he lied about why he lost his job. Because the school said it was because of something with Gypsy. Oh, like Rachel had posted a video with Ryan and Gypsy, and that's why they had fired him from posting on social media, something like that. Well, she said somebody came in her comments and said it was from him being inappropriate with kids at the school. And she finally on the podcast, she finally on the live last night was like, I don't mean inappropriate like that, but for the longest time she was just saying that. Like, can you explain what you mean? Because that's like,
girl, can you explain what you mean? You could have made this entire video less than 60 seconds if you just said what you mean.
Oh, don't just say that about the guy. And I took up for Ryan about this almost a year ago, okay? Over a year ago. Well, she was like, and what I mean by inappropriate, like he was the way he was talking to kids, okay? Not sexual. So, first of all, somebody in the comments said that. Second of all, we don't know if that's true. And actually, Pink Cloud or whatever her name is, she actually pointed that out. She's like, well, we don't know if this is true. And Rachel was trying to still put, like, you can tell that this is not the tea they wanted, okay? Like, I thought everybody's Team Ryan, remember? Like, oh my God, no, poor Ryan. Well, y'all, the only tea that she gave away in them text messages so far is her body weight that she's lost. The fact that she texted Ken, which is weird, about the stuff that she was texting about, and how she was talking shit about Ryan. That's what y'all got stuff for, and y'all paid $500 for it. So if y'all want to keep on doing that, do it. I don't fucking care. But I'm going to be here to tell the ones so you do know. And also, she mentioned again last night, which pisses me off. I'm going to tell you why. She mentioned, like, you know, people say that Gypsy took care of me in prison, blah, blah. That's not true. Y'all, go to Rachel's page, go to her playlist, go to the Gypsy playlist, go down to the video where it says, you want to know why I do this for Gypsy? You want to know why? She was the only one there for me. She bought everything for me while I was there. My toiletries, my feminine products, my tobacco, and when my, I'm going to put this on very lightly, y'all, because my air conditioner, I still need to go get the Freon, and I'm not trying to sweat on the way there. But, so she's like, oh, I shouldn't have done it this way. Oh, so she's like, she got my tobacco, or she says this, okay? And I remember I called her out for this, again, over a year ago, and she's like, I was just boosting Gypsy. You were just boosting her, is that what you were doing? You were just saying all those things to make people, stop it. Stop it. And actually, when I'm just gonna go all over the place, don't mind me, okay? So actually, when Gypsy was in prison, people even started being like, you know, don't let her take advantage of you, blah, 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 blah. Oh, y'all, I learned something today while I was watching the tutorial. Not to put anything right there. Only put your primer, okay? So that's what I'm going to try today. I'm only going to do what the tutorial said for me to do. That's another reason I came on here way late, y'all. I was watching tutorial for...
She was watching a tutorial on how to defend a murderer. Not how to make one, because Gypsy already has that down pat. How to defend one.
I feel like, do I have hooded eyes? I feel like yes and no. I feel like they're in between. So, I don't. Like a little bit, like a little tiny bit. Just a little bit. Okay. So, I was looking up tutorials and I never can just watch this. Y'all, I was supposed to come on this live at 12 o'clock, put it that way. Ray, I still haven't gone to the DMV, but I'm going to. I will make it. Which is why I'm rushing, y'all. So, don't watch this live to learn how to do makeup, because that's not what we're doing. Okay, so I'm making a video still. And you know why else I'm going to do it? It ain't just about Gypsy. Let me tell you, when I was watching it last night, the replay, I'm listening. And then she's like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be in Bree's position, you know, talking about being Gypsy's best friend anymore, blah, blah, blah. And then her husband in the background, you know, like a little bitch, because, like, why are you involved in this drama? He's like, Brian. That's what he said. And she's like, he calls her Brian, sweetheart. Let's not talk about people's looks, the way they talk, anything, because I look better than you every day of the week. And I also don't nod out the whole fucking time I'm on a live. So that's that. That's that. So yeah, let's not. Let's not. I would rather have a deep voice than a slurring voice. Okay? Thank you very much. Anyways. So that's that. Transphobic much? Just like she said on a live last year, she was like, nobody can tell me that girl isn't a man, and nobody can tell me that I'm not sober anymore. Okay, so, anyways, yeah. Yep, I went there. Don't be a bitch. I won't be a bitch. Anyways. It's probably why you grifting. I'm so sick of people with the transphobic shit. Like, it's not that I care because it hurts my feelings. It's just that it's nasty. It's disgusting. Like, I know people who are trans and it's just fucked up. Because it's an insult. Because what if I was? Like, why the fuck does it matter?
Exactly. Why the fuck does it matter? Guess what? It doesn't. Nothing does.
I don't understand. Like, why the fuck does it matter? Why do y'all make it like it would be such a bad thing, you know? Like, that's weird. It's 2025. Stop it. And she's already reached her goal for her son to go to camp, which is great. But she's still going on. She's still going to do more, even though y'all never got any tea. Okay? Y'all never got any tea from her.
Yeah, everybody kind of did. Because not only are they out there completely transparent, Ken does tell her that she looks good. Ken also admits that he hasn't talked to Gypsy since release. He doesn't say that he hasn't talked to her since she's been released, that he hasn't talked to her since.
Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all never got any tea. But now she wants to continue raising so she can buy her kid clothes and stuff for his camp, but also so she can buy him a Nintendo Switch for his birthday. Not all kids get to get Nintendo Switches. You know why? Because only kids that their mother can afford that get it. But if y'all want to give him that, if y'all want to give him that, by all means do it. But I bet y'all wouldn't do it if she wasn't giving y'all tea that she's not giving you. That's my point. I just don't understand it. So, yeah. What am I doing next? Because I'm going to what time is it? 2:20. Okay, I'm good. I guess I'll do blush. I'm going all out of order than what I would normally even do, but it's okay. Ah! Wait. Yeah, well, apparently, well, you know what? I will say this. She posted a receipt, okay? Pink Cloud did, whatever her name is. She said, like, she posted the thing from the camp thing, but this is my...
Yeah, she did, and good for her, because she wanted her son to go to camp, and everybody helped donate for that. And also, she was asking for any extra donations, because he needed some stuff for camp, he needed clothes, other things, etc., etc. Why not? Gypsy grifts every single time she does an interview, a podcast, a book deal, a reality TV show, a documentary where she lies to everybody. But people that were incarcerated with her and actually knew her can't. Everybody that knows her and is in her life now is trying to ride off of her notoriety and fame. They want some of her following so they can be monetized. They make nothing but content and videos about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. 2 threads cut from the same exact cloth. Or another phrase is 2 sides of the same coin.
My thing is, I don't feel like going to get my other brush. I guess we're going to do it with this one. I just want to look half decent in my ID for once, y'all. That's all. Like, that's all. If y'all can wish me luck that I can make my makeup look half decent today, and like I won't look like a crazy person. You know what else though? I think. Don't worry, y'all. It's gonna look better. Okay, so when you go, you know how like on here you can mirror image. Okay, when you get a picture done, is it not mirror image? Because I think that I'm ugly. I think that I'm ugly in the other image.
Okay, this video just seems to go on and on and on and on. And you know what? Brie really should start doing tutorials for makeup. Imagine if she's done that for the last year, how good her makeup skills could be right now. I mean, if she was to get into something that she likes doing like that, not only does it make sense, but she could actually get into something that she likes doing and make content off of it.
Whatever it is, like the reverse, whatever. I mean, and I know y'all say, no, you're not Brie. Yes, I am. It's okay. And it's because I need to get a nose job because I have a deviated septum. See, you low. Thank you. It does. Y'all, I'm going to show y'all. Don't make fun of me. I'm going to show y'all because I'm going to be just so real with y'all right now, okay? Don't laugh at me. Look at my nose. Ah! Ah! Don't do that again. Ah! My husband's going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, I decided to straighten it today, you know.
Okay, maybe I can kind of see why she's not, because she's taken this whole time to talk and straighten her hair and everything, but it doesn't seem like she's getting far. I don't know. I picked a really bad video to show you guys. I wanted you to see what she's saying about Rachell Garlick and the messages and all of that, but I am so sorry that it just keeps dragging on. I'm going to have to probably edit some of this out.
Oh. Okay. See, it was different. It's because of this. Look, I have a deviated septum, okay? And I'm going to get a nose job because Gypsy's going to pay for it. I'm just kidding. Everybody calm down. Since I have a deviated septum, actually it'll be covered by insurance. This is the first time. This is supposed to be one for powder. I'm going to try it. I never tried it yet. Let's do it. Wait, what's it? That's because it scared me. Like, me inverted, is that what it is? It scares me. It does. It actually terrifies me. Like, I'm wondering, that's how people see me in person, right? Y'all, isn't that how people see me in person? Please tell me that's how people see me in person, though? It is. Just be honest.
Being honest, something that eludes Gypsy Rose Blanchard every day of her life.
I feel like it is. Great. My whole life's a lie. Oh my God! Wait, somebody said no, but she said yes. Which one is that? Tell me the truth. Okay, I don't know if Oh my God, I'm scared. Does everyone know that Rachel tried to do... Oh yeah, I know. It's just weird that she tried again like 2 weeks before camp. I'm not saying it's not true because I did see the receipts. Well, I saw the thing that says like campers, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you see, I like that, but I do like this thing. But no, I need to know. I'm sorry, I'm moving your comment. I'm so sorry because I need to know what I look like in real life.
Are you sure you want to really know? Are you really sure? Look at that. Gypsy don't give no fucks. Gypsy don't give a fuck. Blah, 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 blah. Gypsy don't give no fuck.
You notice it does bug you, but we don't see you like that. You don't know. It has to because it's opposite mirror. Oh my God, y'all, I'm so sad. I'm really sad. I'm exhausted by the level of ignorance that is consumed by our society. So, Gypsy Rose Blanchard's emails from prison were FOIA requested by some creators that are obsessed with her. Okay, and some of those creators have been going over those emails.
And coincidentally, so are you. You're going over the creators that go over stuff about Gypsy. Yet Ken likes to say, you have no identity outside of Gypsy. The people closest to her and know her best don't either.
So in one of those emails, Rod says to Gypsy, maybe if your mom would have let you date, things would have never happened how they happened. After this creator reads that line, she becomes a little theatrical and it's just like, wait, what? I thought that Gypsy unalived her mom because she was abused.
And she did date. She told Nick that she talked to over 6 different men before him, sending them explicit, inappropriate videos and photographs of herself topless. Nick also says that he had phone conversations with Dee Dee prior to meeting her at the movie theater. Gypsy also was dating Dan Glidewell, according to her. So we don't know if this is about the fact that she couldn't date or that Dee Dee didn't want a 36-year-old man who had been in trouble with the law before around her house, stealing her pain medication and her money, which David and Kim Blanchard certainly knew about because in the interrogation video with David Blanchard, he admits that Dan Glidewell, Dee Dee was suspicious of him because of her pain meds. And when Gypsy says Vicodin, she's likely referring to hydrocodone, aka Norco, Watson's Vicodin. Maybe Dee Dee was suspicious of all of these men because you can look at Gypsy and tell that there's something genetically not right with her. Her mom had every right and legal responsibility to be cautious of men coming around her daughter about their intentions and what they wanted with her. Remember, Gypsy Rose was 24 and looked like she was 10, maybe 12 tops, and she also looked very sick. She also has a rare genetic chromosome disorder which affects her face and her body, so Dee Dee had every right to be cautious over anybody who was attracted to Gypsy, whether you believe she was abused or not. And oftentimes, with people that truly are mentally disabled, in females, you see that they often have an obsession with men, husbands, babies, kids, having a family, hypersexualization. And while, yes, it is argued that being able to have sex, have a family, that is a basic human right, but people that have cognitive or intellectual disabilities are at higher risk of unplanned pregnancies, sexually transmitted diseases. They are gullible, naive, vulnerable. That's why they require a caregiver. Sometimes those behaviors can accompany other things. And Gypsy is not healthy. She was born with a very serious microdeletion, a rare chromosome disorder. And with that, which doesn't mean that Gypsy has it, but it is correlated to cognitive disability. And Gypsy Rose Blanchard has always been erratic, impulsive when it comes to sexual behavior, hypersexualization, and using her body to manipulate men. Did her mom know this? We don't know. That could have been why she was extremely overprotective over her. Another word that is highly correlating to Gypsy's specific chromosome disorder is paraphilia. It is a sexual preference disorder characterized by intense and persistent sexual interest in atypical objects, situations, fantasies, or individuals themselves. It can also be defined as a sexual interest in anything other than a consenting adult human partner. This can involve non-human objects like an electric toothbrush, barbecue sauce, or the suffering or humiliation of oneself or partner, or children or other non-consenting individuals. And Gypsy not only shows a high degree of sociopathy, psychopathy, narcissism, she loves to humiliate people. But the same exact rare chromosome disorder that Gypsy Rose Blanchard has, this woman has. And they look like they are identical twins. This woman is the poster child for the same exact microdeletion, and she allegedly lives in the United Kingdom and has a full-time caregiver. So was it really that Dee Dee didn't let her date, or was she just extremely cautious over allowing strange men, older men, to be around Gypsy or around her house? Like David Blanchard said about Dan Glidewell. He was 36 and they were concerned that he was only snooping around because he knew that Dee Dee had Vicodin, implying that David Blanchard himself knew that Dee Dee Blanchard didn't take them and was likely selling them because he mentions it.
So which is it? Is it that she was abused? Or was it because her mom didn't allow her to have a boyfriend? And I'm sitting there rolling my fucking eyes to the back of my head, and I'm just thinking to myself, girl, use your brain for 2 seconds. For 2 seconds. Not being able to have a boyfriend at almost 24 years old is a part of the abuse. We're not talking about just some strict parent. You're talking about someone who was physically isolated, emotionally manipulated, and lied to about her body and her health every single day of her life. Try looking at...
Okay, let me get on here and say this. Miss Bree, are you saying that anyone who is still living at home, whose parents do not allow them to bring all kinds of men in the house or even date, should result in the same tactics that Miss Gypsy did on that fateful day in June in 2015? Is that what you're saying? That they are all being abused? That wasn't part of any abuse. In my mind, after all of the documentation and everything that I've seen, the only thing Dee Dee did that I think was abusive was that feeding tube that was in her belly for way too long. That was abusive. But in the whole picture, in the grand scheme of things, Gypsy, from the age of 6, when she was put into the wheelchair, and sometime later discovered that she could walk fine, refused to show that she could walk or even tell her mom she could walk because she was afraid she would not love her the same. She knew that she was okay. And Dee Dee did lie to organizations about the leukemia and all that stuff. Yeah, that was all part of the fraud that you say didn't exist, even though we have news interviews from the police department or the sheriff department saying that there was fraud. However, I don't think that not being allowed to have a boyfriend is abuse. And even if it could be categorized as abuse, is it abusive enough for you to off your mom? I don't think so. And thank God, because there'd be a lot of DED moms around here. But my point is, you know that for almost 2 decades, Dee Dee went from doctor to doctor trying to figure out why Gypsy had all these symptoms. Symptoms that resulted in 4 procedures, not hundreds, 4. Teeth that were removed because she refused to stop drinking Pediasure, which is high in sugar, and Pepsi, high in sugar, out of a baby bottle, letting it rest on her teeth. So yeah, her teeth rotted. 4 of them were pulled. Not all her teeth. And the salivary glands were reduced, not removed. All of the things, even the tongue licking, because of a high palate, all of it is symptoms of the microdeletion that she has. And every single symptom that she had that her mom was complaining about, they had no idea what was going on. And in 2008, when there was a discovery, when someone put all the symptoms together and gave it a name, there was no more doctor shopping. There was no more procedures. There was no more trips. As a matter of fact, Dee Dee got so sick that just before the crime, she had been hospitalized and has a hospital band either on her wrist or on her ankle in the crime scenes. She was bedridden, very sick, diabetes, gout, quite a few things going on with her. But anyway, to stick to the story that you're telling, not being allowed to have a boyfriend is not abuse. There's a lot of religious or spiritual people that as long as the daughter is living in the house, there's no dating. There's arranged marriages. They already have little Johnny, who's cousins of somebody's cousin, set up for you when you turn 25 or whatever the case is. So for you to say that, and I know you didn't say this specifically, but you said that it was part of the abuse. That was not abuse, not being allowed to date. You say she was physically isolated. She'd been to Disney more than most people I know. Concerts for free. Vision cons for free. Backstage passes. Special VIP passes at Universal. Meeting celebrities. Meeting movie stars. You know anybody else who's done all that? On a lie? A lie that they both spun? The very famous last photo of her having a third Make-A-Wish trip to Disney dressed as Ariel the Little Mermaid. She's 19 and had known how old she was for many years. So, while I believe that you believe everything that comes out of her mouth, and you constantly use your brain for 2 seconds. You say that all the time. Use your brain for 2 seconds. I wish people would use their brain for 2 seconds. Well, you say that you've read all the documents. You've done all the research. So how come you haven't seen the same documents that we've seen? How come you haven't come to the same conclusion that we have? How is it that you believe what comes out of her mouth more than you believe police reports, medical records, interviews, documentation, photos, admissions of her own? And now with these emails, even more information has come to light. And girlfriend, if she knew you back then, I promise you'd be a topic in some of those emails too. But anyway, I'm just here to say, not being able to have a boyfriend at 24 is not abuse. I wasn't allowed to date till I was 16. Was that abuse? Or are you just coupling it all together with the fraud and the lies and all the stuff that they both told? They both told in order for her to get all those free trips from the organizations. Anyway, I just had to come on here and just rebut the fact that you think not having a boyfriend at 24, not being allowed to have a boyfriend at 24, is some sort of abuse. No, ma'am, it's not. And on another tip, I did see your little post about this fabulous TikTok option where you could block someone, and the best thing about it is they don't see you and you don't see them either. So, blocka. I have no problem with it. You've blocked me everywhere else. Have a wonderful evening, girl. Keep on keeping on.
Natasha, I hope you and your recliner are having, like, literally the best morning, because I just cannot express to you how thankful I am for you right now. A few people came to me and told me how you were talking to your followers about the last time that y'all had stalked my live, and that y'all noticed that I had spit in the corners of my mouth, and like that is just like not okay at all, and like now I could be more aware of that. So thank you so much. And I just want to show you how appreciative I am of you. So I went and found like the most beautiful video I could find of you, and I just wanted to share it with you because you look gorgeous in this video, girl. Like gorgeous. Digging for gold. I mean, you have a heart of gold. You really do. Get it, girl. Like, get it, girl. Like, look at you. Like, you know what I just noticed? Like, I love that shirt and I love that headband, but I just realized that, like, you match your recliner. Like, you can just tell how connected, like, you are to your recliner. And I just love that for you. So beautiful. Like, oh my god, I'm just in love with that color. Oh, that's your new hand cream. I remember you told me that the first time I saw this. What scent did you say that was? I forgot what you said that smelled like last time. But, anyway, but girl, I just noticed that, I didn't even notice this the first time I watched it, how, like, perfect, like, you matched your recliner, which is, like, I don't know, I just thought that was kind of sweet considering, like, how connected you are to your recliner. But anyways, I wanted to ask you this before, I got out this video. You know that thing that you share with your, followers, you know, about me, something that I did, which, girl, I didn't tell you that you could share that, but, I was wondering, so I know that I read in the police report, I believe, from when you stole that girl's taxes, I remember reading something about, you said your boyfriend, you know, and, I was wondering, you think, I'm kind of, running low, girl. And I don't know, when I read that in the police report, I was like, oh my God, he can, like, be my, I can, like, you can hook it up, girl. Hook me up, with that connection, Can get connected, yeah. So, yeah, I just thought, like, we only live a few states away. Just let me know, girl. Just message me. I don't know if you blocked me or anything, but hopefully you didn't, because, like, I really need, like, a new one, So, yeah, hit me up, girl. Anyways, I hope you and your recliner have a great day, and if you can remember that scent, let me know, because I think you said it smelled really good, and I'm, like, interested in maybe going to get some. All right, bye, girl. No fraud investigation before or after the murder of Dee Blanchard. There was no fraud investigation before or after the murder of Dee Blanchard. So I'm gonna post that real fast so y'all can see it, and we're gonna move on. And y'all are gonna understand it and not talk about the fraud investigation that never existed. Thank you.
They say the two were lying. You can see Gypsy for yourself walking into court. Now, along with the investigation into Dee Dee's murder, authorities are also looking into what appears to be a financial scheme.
More about that financial fraud. What do you want?
I can't specifically, other than in the investigation, there were several $1,000s in cash stolen that she had in a safe. And we know that they received a lot of GoFundMe accounts. There was some other accounts set up and some other things that we're looking into. But as I said at the beginning, things are not always as they appear. We don't know the extent of the fraud, but it seems pretty lengthy.
No fraud investigation. There was no fraud investigation before.
I don't understand why I have to be different. I don't understand what makes me different. Because to me, I'm just another average bear. And I guess I'm getting a huge culture shock. So, I do not feel free right now. I feel like I am in a different form of prison.
Girl has been. Were you high? Did that influence what occurred that night?
I was during that week abusing painkillers. However, that was not something that affected my mental state at that time. I wasn't myself. I had been taking narcotics such as Xanax and Vicodin. I was high. Very high. I was on a bunch of medications, and I know that's no excuse, but on Xanax, I felt like I had no emotion, and I wasn't thinking right.
That night?
I was during that week abusing painkillers. However, that was not something that affected my mental state at that time.
So Ken was just on live to address the emails, but before he would get to the point, he was like, I need so many people to be in this live. Loser behavior. Anyways, here's a little bit about what he had to say.
Challenge you to a boxing match. How about that? Let's do it. You can get all your anger out on me, all the things you hate about me. Let's do it. But I bet you won't accept it. And I really hope that you do, because that would be fucking pretty entertaining. I think that most people would love to see that. You and me one-on-one in a boxing match? Shit, that'd be content, dude. Let's do it. I'm fucking down. You name the to do it. And yeah, your emails got exposed, dude. You're a fucking weirdo. Like, I mean, of course you have to deny your allegations. I mean, like, what choice do you have? But the reality is, what was said definitely happened. And you accepted what happened with a 5-year-old child in the room with you. And if I'm lying, then, sue me.
And I hope he does sue him. But also Gypsy went on to apologize, and she basically just said like, oh, I've changed. Like we haven't heard that story before. Interesting takeaway from her apology though. She says because of the fallout, she is sorry. Meaning that if there was never fallout, she would have never been sorry.
Caught the tail end of the 2020s that showed me taking the stand. Wow, you are right. My boobs looked, well, yep, I could have had a better bra that day. How embarrassing. Just a bittersweet goodbye for him to see the last of me. Nowadays, I didn't just get an upgrade. I got a whole different model with a bigger seat to ride as smooth or as rough as I want. See what I did just there? Winky.
Boobs? What boobs? This is not only diabolical, this is completely evil and self-centered. Yeah, we know that you committed perjury. We know that you lied on the stand. We know you lied in interviews, documentaries, podcasts, and those cheesy-ass books. But, however, I'm still recovering from surgery. I'm on day 3. I'm not feeling very well today. And that is what is going on in the Gypverse. Under fair use and copyright law, I credit everybody in the description box if you are interested in following anybody over on TikTok. And where humans and human justice often fails and gets it wrong, I really pray and put all my hope and faith that God doesn't. I pray that everybody is well. I love you all. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week and weekend. Keep making content. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Please like and share. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button. I will catch you all on the flip side.